Okay, today we're going to play What Is It? I got this case here that I made back in January of 2011, and I'm wondering if any of you can guess what the heck it is. It's got these corners here on it and some like half-inch angle pieces that are screwed onto the case. And it's got these nice latches so you can open it up and close it. And it has like this notch in there, carrying handle. So what do you think it is? Well, let's open it up and find out. It's empty inside. And the top separates from the bottom half. Oh look, it has like this recessed area. It looks like maybe something could sit in here. I wonder what that could be. Yeah, look, it looks like someone got like a regular hinge that you can get from Lowe's, and they took a Dremel tool to it and made like a little unhingeable hinge thingy like you would see on some guitar effect pedal boards. Oh, look at this. This has squishy foam inside the top, and there's indentations of, what are those weird indentations in there? I don't know. What the heck could this thing be? Oh, well look at that. All this stuff just appeared inside of here. Alright, so seriously, this is my my third do-it-yourself pedal board that I've made. The first one I made was like back in 2001. It's made out of an old bass guitar case that I chopped down, and I made a second one completely from scratch. It was built in similar fashion to this one, but I found they all had a deficiency with being square. And before I got into cycling and my core was weak and I had constant back pain, I came up with this idea to have kind of an ergonomic pedal board. And see, when you're standing on one foot, you can very easily pivot around. This kind of follows the motion of your foot as you twist. And the other thing I thought was cool, since I like to ride a volume pedal a lot, you know, this makes it real easy. The wah, you can use the wah pedal really easy. And this right here is like how you naturally want to stand. Now if I had a regular square pedal board, my other left foot would have to be here. Maybe for some people this isn't a big deal, but you know, this is just a lot more awkward because I have to put a lot more of my body weight on my left leg. It's kind of an odd position because I have to like stick my right foot way out. But this few inches makes a big difference in, now this becomes really easy. I don't feel like I'm doing some kind of balancing act. So that was the concept behind this. It was to make my guitar playing experience less of a pain, literally. Now since then, you know, because I've been doing all these core strengthening exercises and riding bicycles, I don't have this issue anymore, but the ergonomics still applies. So now I suppose y'all are wondering what exactly I have on this pedal board. I'll go ahead and show you real quick. Let me plug that in. Okay, so first off we'll start with my little patch bay that I have in here. So I got this little patch bay. Basically you plug your guitar in here, and this goes to a tuner that I've had forever, which I like. I've literally had this like over 20 years. And so then the cable goes from that into the wah pedal, which was my TDK 5103 wah that I did a video on earlier. And actually I lied. First it goes into the volume pedal, then the wah pedal. Then it goes from the wah pedal to... Now these four pedals here change. They can change, but I usually always have a tube screamer on here. Right now I've got my my TS-808 reissue that I bought a while back, and then when I was building effects for Tone Freak, I built myself one of his Severe pedals. I have several of the Tone Freak pedals, but this is one of my favorites. This one is just really great for a little heavier sound and distortion, or fatter, thicker sound distortion. Everybody knows what a tube screamer sounds like. If you're a guitar player, you've probably played one, you've heard one, you know, people clone them ad nauseum. And then right now I have an octave pedal on here, this Boss OC2. I don't necessarily use it, but I was going to start playing with a guy that did kind of some interesting music, and I thought that this might be a good pedal to have on the board, but I never really connected with the guy, so it's just kind of been sitting on here. And I got the Boss Super Chorus. I don't use chorus very often, but once in a while I'll use it. And then when I was a builder for Wampler pedals years ago now, I built myself an Analog Echo, which is a PT2399 based delay, and this has just got your basic tone, delay, repeats, and delay level. I also built another version of a similar but different circuit that I have modulation on, which I really love, but it's a little big to fit on my pedal board, so it's on my headphone setup. And then I've got this DD5, which I've had since the late 90s, and this is before it had the tap tempo built into it. It had the separate tempo pedal, and what I did is built a little tempo box. This was a little enclosure that this was a few enclosures that was given to me, and I took one of them. It used to be square like that, and I cut the bottom down so it sits at an angle, and it sits nice on the floor, and I stuck some of that neoprene foamy stuff on there again. I guess it's like foam rubber, I don't know what it is, just some kind of dense foam. But anyways, it sits on the floor, you know, it doesn't slide around very easy, and this is just simply a momentary, normally open momentary switch, and when you tap it 4 times, it tells the DD5 what tempo you just put in. And then lastly, it'll go through this speaker cabinet simulator that I built years ago out of the plastic Radio Shack enclosure, and I got a bypass switch in here. And the reason why I have this is if on some occasions in the past I've played directly into a sound system, and this kind of simulates a guitar cabinet. And this is supposed to be like a Marshall speaker simulator. It's not perfect, but it works for that purpose. And so from there it comes back to the patch bay to the output jack, and this is where you plug your cable to the amp. And I also have a preamp built in here, so if I'm using the speaker cabinet simulator, I can switch this guy on, and I got a volume control right here that controls the volume to the preamp. This was an afterthought, so that's kind of why it's just sitting there in an odd fashion, but I had to deal with what was going on in the pedal board case below and stuff. And then I can plug my wall wart into that 9-volt jack right there, and this is really cool. And earlier in the video, I mean, it works out really great. Earlier in the video, you know, showing this bottom half, and you can see how there's a space in there, so you can store cables inside. And oh, and the other thing is they have a neat little place right here for storage of an EBO, and it just slides right in there, and it stays put when the case is on. I have these little handles here that I got at Lowe's. They're like I don't know what they're like gate handles or something, and that allows me to just lift the whole assembly out of the bottom half of the pedal board. And let's try to show this to you. I have a couple of little legs down here at the bottom that if I take it out, I can have it elevated on this end here so that it's slanting down, which also makes it easier for selecting your pedals and using them and stuff. I also find that when the pedal boards are a little bit of an incline, it just seems to be easier to use volume and wah pedals. And so I used this for a few years, and then I stopped playing guitar regularly outside of my home, and so this has just been sitting around, but I just thought I'd share it with y'all, because while this was kind of a pain in the butt to build, it was definitely worth it, because this is just so much more efficient to use. It's easier on your back. It just makes life easier, and you can concentrate on, you know, playing your guitar and making music. And I noticed too that there's also a couple of one pedal board on the market now that's kind of like a rounded, I think it's made out of aluminum with a bunch of holes in it. And so someone else apparently had thought of, you know, the ergonomic pedal board concept. I thought of this back at like the end of 2010, and then I made this pedal board, and I was considering trying to market something like this, but you know, I didn't think I'd be able to start up a company. I didn't think there'd be enough interest in it and all that kind of stuff. And I think that was before there was like the Kickstarter and GoFundMe and all these things. So someone else has kind of taken my idea and ran with it, but this was my idea. And you know, this is my custom made pedal board that you know, it suits all my needs exactly the way I want it. It's exactly the way I want it. And so hopefully you found this to be interesting, and maybe you'll have your own ideas on how to make a cool pedal board. And if you do, leave me a comment with a link to your video, and I certainly like to check it out, because I've seen a lot of pretty cool pedal boards over the years, but you know, this one works great for me, and I hope that you get something out of this. Maybe you get inspired by this video or something.